Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jnanatimanasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmitanyana Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Vanta Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastite Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamani Hariti Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Guru Shri Sadivam Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Vistambhutini Prabhupada Priya Shri Girirajaya Swamini Sugupta Radharas Bihari Bhakti Duschapadaya Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Vistambhutini Vishnudev Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Shakti Mukham karoti vachalam pandam langayate grum yatkripatamaham vande Shri Guruji Nottarati. Okay, can we put in our camera? Hare Krishna, yes. Otherwise, it's so difficult to read. Okay, so we are reading from Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 17, text 259. So we're reaching the end of this Adi Lila. It's been a very, for me, very fruitful to read this Chaitanya Charitamrita. Extremely fruitful. So, like, I think I understand Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu more. I understand that he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Doubts that I may have had in this, it's getting clear. And what is his mission? What is the mission of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? And how he's dealing with the people of Kali Yuga. As he appeared in Kali Yuga, and so how he deals with the peoples of Kali Yuga. So now we are finding, like I was just listening to His Holiness Bhakti Ashray Maharaj. He's giving such beautiful classes. He speaks in Hindi, but I'm just listening. Somehow or other, I want to know what he's saying. So he's speaking about, did I post? I think he posted somewhere in one of our group. Shikala, I posted in one group. This Bhakti Ashray Maharaj, his class on student life of Krishna Balaram. And it's like so wonderful to just know what is a student, right? So Krishna Balarama, I'll post it, So what behavior of a student, but Krishna Balarama, they come as students for Sandipani Muni. And here we are finding the contrast of these students. So let's read from text 258. Tatapi तथापि दम्भिका परुया नामरा नाही हाय यहाँ तहान प्रभुरा निंदा हसी se karai. So remember how these students, they couldn't understand Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they didn't even stop and think, maybe my teacher knows more than me. I don't know it. Because Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit is well known. Everybody knows he's not like a Sahaja. He is someone of standing, right? So, but the proud student community didn't become submissive. On the contrary, the students spoke of the incident anywhere and everywhere. My God. Yahan, anywhere. Tahan, everywhere. You know how you become angry, no? If somebody's talking about you, everywhere, anywhere. Hmm? And they talk and they laugh at him. In a laughing manner, they criticize the Lord. Hmm? Hasi, Ninda Hasi. Text 259. Now, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, this student community, they are going here and there, they're talking about Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to know about it. I think maybe I mentioned last time that if we speak about somebody, or somebody speaks about us, we get to know about it. I heard Srila Prabhupada say that the sound travels. It's just a law of the waves. Sound travels, so it comes back to you. Or if you speak about somebody, it comes to that person. But often it's distorted because it's going through, so many layers. It's just electromagnetic waves, right? So it gets distorted when the sound travels. So when what comes to you or what comes to others is repeated, then it's distorted. Anyway, here, let's read what happened, 259. Sarvagya Gosani Jani Sabara Durgati Ghare Vasi Chinteta Sabara Avyahati. Sarvagya, all-knowing Gosani, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now he's not a sannyasi. Gosai usually refers to a sannyasi, I guess. Jani, he knew. Sabara Durgati. He knows about the degradation of all of these students. Khare Vasi Chinte. At home, he sat and he started thinking Chinta. Of them Sabara, Avyahati, how to rescue them. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being omniscient, Sarvagya, could understand the degradation of these students. Thus, he sat at home contemplating how to rescue them. So, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came with a mission. And so he tried, so it is he himself, and then there's the mission. And as we explained, there was a clash between he himself, his personal mood, and then the external mission. The two clashed. So he failed. He failed in delivering his mission. So now he's sitting at home. He's thinking how to do it. And so Srila Prabhupada did tell us, each and every one, we have to rack our brains how to spread this Krishna consciousness movement. And especially in Kali Yuga, where people are very degraded, very, very fallen, very, very fallen. And we are having an example of how fallen the most important section of the community, meaning the Brahmana. That community became proud. And Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's contemplating how to rescue them. Yatha adhyapakara tanra shishyagan dharmi karmi tapo nishtha nindaka durjana all the so-called professors, adhyapak, and scientists, and their students generally follow the regulative principles of religion. So, dharmi. So, yatha adhyapak ara tanra shishyagan. So, the adhyapak, the professors and scientists, proper translated, and their students generally follow the regulative principles of religion, dharma, karmi, fruitive activities, and austerity. The law thought, yet at the same time, they are blasphemers and rogues. Oh my God, that's the contrast, okay? So they are so-called dharmic. And so, like this devotee Kamalochan Prabhu, I keep saying that please go to vihe.org. There are hundreds and hundreds of lectures. They are different topics. And Kamalochan Prabhu, now he's taken sannyas. I can't remember his name. I know something about Padma and Saurabh, something. Can't remember exactly what his full name. But his lecture will be under the heading of Kamalochan Das. So he explained about, he's from South Indian Brahmana. So he explained how in his area, so how the Brahmanas will behave. So he will say that they will do everything. They will get up morning, and do all those different rituals and all the hand movement, right? You were telling me, Anupama, how these kids, they learn the shlokas with hand movement, etc. So they will do everything, taking their bath, this, and then when it's all over, they will sit down and they will talk about material life. Meaning all our stuff is done, right? So they're official religion, right? Brahmanas. Then they will sit down and say they are the most materialists. So this is an example. So Mahaprabhu is saying, yet at the same time, they're blasphemers and rogues. Here's a depiction, purport. Here's a depiction of materialists who have no knowledge of devotional service. They may be very religious and may work very systematically or perform austerities and penances. But if they blaspheme the Supreme Person Godhead, they are nothing but rogues. How Mahaprabhu called them? Durjana, Nindaka and Durjana. This is confirmed in the Sri Hari Bhakti Sudhoy 3.11. Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya Jati Shastram Chapastapaha Apranasya Dehasya Mandanam Lokaranjanam. Just see. If they are without knowledge of devotional service to the Lord, this is in Shri Chaitanya, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also. If they are without knowledge of devotional service to the Lord, then great nationalism, fruity political or social work, science or philosophy are all simply like costly garments decorating a dead body. Meant for, so apranasyaiva dehasya mandana loka ranjanam, just for show. Just to entertain the public, to show everyone, I'm this Brahman, I'm doing all these mudras, etc., etc. And most probably they also go to their temples and they push their weight there, right? I'm Brahmana, this, right? But actually they are blasphemers. The only offense of persons adhering to these principles is that they are not devotees. They are always blasphemous towards the Supreme Person Godhead and his devotees. So I remember this one man, we go door to door, and we make contacts with people. So I went to this one, he had his small business. And I don't know whether he used to give me any donation, but we are very persistent, when we go door to door and we take our round. So that was in the city of Port Louis. So I will go shop to shop, business to business, and I'll make sure that maybe I will give it some prasadam or give it something. I don't know whether he would give me anything, but I will never give up. Even if somebody gives nothing, we will still pay our visit, So this man, he was a South Indian, and he was adhering to some of these, he seemed to be dharmic, etc., etc. But one day he just said something that really upset me. So he says, Krishna, blasphemers of a Supreme Person of Godhead, they're nothing but rogues. So he said, Krishna, they threw an arrow at him and blood came out of his body, and he was just laughing, that Krishna has a material body. So I'm giving you an example. So I was very hurt. I don't think I went back to his shop again. But when I came to the temple, I don't know whether I reported to Bhakti Charu Swami or to my Guru Maharaj, Geha Swami. Because, I just said, I met this man, this is what happened. I think maybe it was Bhakti Charu Swami. And Maharaj told me, you should tell him that when you speak like this, you feel hurt. So now, text 261. ए सब मोरा निंदा अपराधा है ते अमीना लाओ ले भक्ति ना पारे लाइते. If I do not induce them to take to devotional service because of committing of the offense of blasphemy, if I do not induce them to take to devotional service because of committing the offense of blasphemy, none of these people will be able to take to it. Now see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thinking, how can I induce them? Meaning that they are not ready to take, but I have to induce them. Lao yaile. How I can induce them to take to devotional service? Like sometimes family members, they are not interested in Krishna consciousness. Still, we want to engage them in service. So, any occasion, any opportunity, we say, please give me a donation. Right? Somehow or other, we'll try and, we appeal to their good nature. Right? Give me a donation. Why? We're not beggars. Right? It is to induce people to take to devotional service somehow or other. Text 262. Nishtarite ailamami haila viparita. Esava durjanera keche hai bekahita. I have come to deliver all the fallen souls, but now just the opposite has happened. How can these rogues be delivered? How may they be benefited? Next, 263. Amake pranati kare hai papakshaya. Tabe se ihare bhakti lai. If these rogues offer me obeisances, pranati, like we have recited, we take a lot of time, we take 3 minutes. Every time we start a class, we take 3 minutes to offer pranati, pranam to the acharyas, to our gurus, to the entire Guru Parampara, Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if these rogues offer me obeisance, the reactions of their sinful activities will be nullified. Then if I induce them, they will take to devotional service. More ninda kare ye na kare namaskar. E sab jivera avashya kariba udhar. I must certainly deliver all these fallen souls who blaspheme me and do not offer me obeisances. Okay, now let's see. This is getting very intense. Next 265. Athaeva vashyami sannyasa kariba. Sannyasi buddhi male pranata haiba. Remember how Srila Prabhupada, in his dream, he saw his Guru Maharaj telling him, take sannyas, take sannyas. And Srila Prabhupada was disturbed, upset. How can I take sannyas? How can I take sannyas? Especially like sannyasi didn't have a big name. Because beggars will put on the saffron cloth and go, and become professional beggars, as Prabhupada called them. Right? So he was hesitating, and his family, there's this. And then Srila Bhakti Siddhanta again said, in his dream, you take sannyas. Why? Because without sannyas, you can't preach. And this is how we find that Prabhupada, when he set up this movement, something that, I don't know, should not be done, I would say. He gave sannyas to young boys. Why? Why he gave sannyas? For this reason. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was 24 years old, right? That time, he's 24 years old. And he's taking sannyas. And Srila Prabhupada gave sannyas so that people will respect them. And we see it here in India. See it right here. As soon as somebody takes sannyas, immediately people will offer obeisances, will run to do seva. So they are elevated. I shall accept the sannyas order of life, for thus people will offer me obeisances, thinking of me as a member of the renounced order. Purport. Among the members of the Varnashram institution's social orders, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, the Brahmana is considered the foremost, for he is the teacher and spiritual master of all the other Varnas. Similarly, among the spiritual orders, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas, the Sannyas order is the most elevated. Therefore, a sannyasi is the spiritual master of all the varnas and ashramas. And a brahmana is also expected to offer obeisances to a sannyasi. See how Mahaprabhu is thinking? Because this is the brahmana community. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit, he's a brahmana. He's teaching these other brahmanas, but they are not respecting him. And he's thinking, because I'm in household life, therefore these students are not respecting me. But if I become a sannyasi, then the Brahminical class, because they're cultured people, they know the culture. So automatically they will offer pranati. Unfortunately, however, caste Brahmanas do not offer obeisances to a Vaishnav sannyasi. They are so proud that they do not offer obeisances even to Indian sannyasis. What to speak of European and American sannyasis? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, however, expected that even the caste Brahmanas would offer respectful obeisances to a sannyasi, because 500 years ago, the social custom was to offer obeisances immediately to any sannyasi, known or unknown. So just some months back, I was at the airport and one devotee was with me. And so I was sitting there, and then I was hungry, so I was eating something. And then I saw one sannyasi come, and an ISKCON sannyasi, someone sannyasi. So immediately, I just offered my pranam like this. So the devotee who was sitting next to me said, Maharaji, you know him? And in the beginning, I didn't register in my mind. Why she? And then I realized that she was thinking that you say pranam only to who you know. This girl who was with me, she's from a Brahmana family. All right. So meaning that you greet only people who you know. And here Prabhupada is saying, you offer pranam immediately to any sannyasi, known or unknown. The sannyasis of the Krishna consciousness movement are bona fide. All the students of the Krishna consciousness movement have undergone the regular process of initiation, as enjoined in the Hari Bhakti Vilas by Sanatan Goswami. Tatha diksha vidhanena dvijatvam jayate nrinam. By the regular process of initiation, any man can become a Brahmana. Thus, in the beginning, the students of our Krishna consciousness movement agreed to live with devotees, and gradually, having given up for prohibited activities, illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, and intoxication, they become advanced in the activities of spiritual life. When one is found to be regularly following this principle, he's giving the first initiation, Harinam, and he regularly chants at least 16 rounds a day. Then after 6 months or a year, he's initiated for the second time and given the sacred thread with a regular sacrifice and rituals. After some times, when he advances still further and is willing to give up this material world, he's given the sannyas order. At that time, he received the titles Swami or Goswami, both of which mean master of the senses. Unfortunately, debauched so-called brahmanas in India neither offer them respect nor accept them as bona fide sannyasis. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expected the so-called brahmanas to offer respect to such Vaishnava sannyasis. Nevertheless, it doesn't matter whether they offer respect nor whether they accept these sannyasis as bona fide. For the Shastra describes punishment for such disobedient so-called brahmanas. So, so these, like maybe I mentioned sometime. So this girl told me how, well, it's well known. The brahmanas are eating meat, and still they maintain that I'm Saraswat Brahmana, I'm this Brahmana, I'm that Brahmana, right? And they're eating meat. So that's why Prabhupada is saying debauched. They're fallen, debauched. Maybe they are smoking also. Maybe they're having illicit sex also, right? So debauched. So they maintain their position. I am Brahmana, but I'm doing all types of nonsense, sinful activities, whereas these boys, they have surrendered to Srila Prabhupada. They're following the regular principles. They're giving first initiation and second initiation after proper examination. So the Shastric injunction declares, Devata pratimam drishtva yatim chaiva tridandinam namaskaram na kuryadyah prayaschitti yate naraha. One who doesn't offer respect to the Supreme Person Godhead, to his deity in the temple, or to Tridandi sannyasi must undergo prayaschit. If one doesn't offer obeisances to such a sannyasi, the prescribed prayaschit is to fast for 1 day. You have to fast. I remember when I joined, we were told if you don't offer obeisances to a sannyasi, you have to fast. Pranatite habe pranatite habe pranatite habe hara aparadakshaya nirmala hridaye bhakti karaiba uday. Offering obeisances will relieve them of all the reactions to their offenses. Then by my grace, devotional service, bhakti, will awaken in their pure hearts. According to the Vedic injunctions, only a Brahmana may be offered sannyas. The Shankara Sampradaya, Ekadanda Sannyas Sampradaya, allows the sannyas order only to caste Brahmanas or born Brahmanas. But in the Vaishnav system, even one not born in a Brahman family may be made a Brahmana according to the direction of the Hari Bhakti Vilas. Tatha Diksha Vidhanena Dvijatam Jayate Rinam. Any person from any part of the world may be made a Brahmana by the regular process of initiation. And when he follows Brahminical behavior, observing the principle of abstaining from intoxication, illicit sex, meat eating, and gambling, he may be offered sannyas. All the sannyasis in the Krishna consciousness movement who are preaching all over the world are regular Brahmana sannyasis. Thus, the so-called caste Brahmanas should not object to offering them respectful obeisances. By offering such obeisances as recommended by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they will diminish their offenses and automatically awaken to their natural position of devotional service. As it is said, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunnan. Krishna Prem can be awakened in a purified heart. The more we offer obeisances to sannyasis, especially Vaishnav sannyasis, the more we diminish our offenses and purify our hearts. Only in a purified heart can Krishna Prema awaken. This is the process of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult, the Krishna consciousness movement. So just imagine, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he adopted a method to purify. Well, they're high-class people, you know? The Brahmanas, they're high-class people. So even when they fall, if they're given opportunity, they can easily rise. So therefore, we should never give up. On them. Somehow or other, they should be engaged in devotional service. And now Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing a personal sacrifice. You remember even Ramachandra, he had to sacrifice his kingdom, Ayodhya, in order to go and kill Ravan, right? He had to create some drama in the home with Kaikeyi. Then he went to Lanka and he killed Ravan. Otherwise, he would have been very aram-se, enjoying life in Ayodhya. Actually, that's what the Devas were saying. Oh, everything is perfect and fine in Ayodhya. Ramachandra is happy, Sita Devi is happy, Raja Dashrath, all the queen, everything is superb. Ayodhya, spiritual world. He said, but he has come in this material world, we call him for Ravan. So here also, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's living a very nice and peaceful life. But now an impetus came, and he accepts that austerity of self-sacrifice for the good of the world. Esabapa Shandira Tabe Haibe Nishtar Arakona Upay Nahi E Yukti Sar. All the unfaithful rogues of this world can be delivered by this process. There is no alternative. This is the essence of the argument. E dridha yukti kari prabhut ache ghare Kesha bharati aila nadiya nagare After coming to this firm conclusion, now just see. Dridda Yukti Kari. The Lord continued to stay at home. In the meantime, Keshav Bharati came to the town of Nadia. They say when the chela is ready, the Guru appears, no? There's a saying like this. So here, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made Dridda Yukti Kari. He has made a firm decision. And that's the problem with all of us, right? We can't be firm in our decision. Surrender, not surrender. One foot here, one foot there. How many, which quarter foot here, which quarter foot there, right? And we indecisive what to do. So therefore, after coming to this firm conclusion, I'm taking sannyas. I remember how one good brother, he took sannyas. And he told us the whole sensation he underwent when he was taking sannyas. So that was in South Africa. So there was a big event, and then the sannyas ceremony will happen. So he said that when he was walking in, now to accept the sannyas, he said his heart was going like this, He said that surrender, not surrender, surrender, not surrender. And then he said, now he was a very popular, extremely popular devotee. So the kids were behind, how when you have a cricketer and football, you are pushing, hyping. Yes. So he was saying the kids were behind him and he took sannyas. It's not easy. It's not easy at all to give up everything, to give up your family relationships, to give up your home, right? And as you walk the world, nobody's going to accept you as their relative. Right? You're always going to be alone. That alone meaning that you have surrendered to Krishna and you're confident that Krishna is your protector, Krishna is your bandhu, right? He's your friend, he's your relative. This is what sannyas means. So dridha yukta kari. Prabhu Tandre Namaskari Kailani Mantrana Bhiksha Karaya Tandra Kaila Nivedana. The Lord offered him respectful obeisances and invited him to his house. After feeding him sumptuously, he submitted to him his petition. According to the system of Vedic society, whenever an unknown sannyasi comes to a village or town, someone must invite him to take prasadam in his home. Sannyasis generally take prasadam in the house of a Brahmana because the Brahmana worships the Lord Narayan Shila or Shalagram Shila, and therefore there is prasadam that the sannyasis may take. Kesha Bharati accepted the invitation of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus, the Lord had a good opportunity to explain his desire to take sannyas from him. Yes. So, when devotees, they invite, please take prasadam at my home, then they shouldn't give the cooks. They have cooks at home, right? If they can't cook, then they should provide all the ingredients. This is the system. Either you yourself, you cook because you're inviting, and in case you're not able to cook for whatever reason, but still you want to offer prasadam, then all ingredients should be offered. I remember my aunt, she did this when I was visiting her house. It's amazing, how this is not very far back. So she said, I know you won't eat, But all the ingredients are there, you cook. Text 270. Tumita Ishvara Bhatta Sakshad Narayana Kripa Kari Kara Mora Samsara Mochana. Sir, you are directly Narayan, therefore please be merciful unto me, deliver me from this material bondage. Bharati kahena tumi Ishvara antaryami ye karaha se kariba swatantra nahiyami. Kesha Bharati replied to the Lord, you are the supreme person of Godhead, the super soul. I must do whatever you cause me to do. I'm not independent of you. Etabali Bharati Gosani Kato Yate Gela Mahaprabhu Tahaya Sanyasa Karila. After saying this, Kesha Bharati, the spiritual master, went back to his village Katwa. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there and accepted the renounced order of life sannyas. Purport. At the end of his 24th year, at the end of the fortnight of the waxing moon, when it was growing, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left Navadvip and crossed the river Ganges at a place known as Nidayar Ghat. There he reached Kantak Nagar or Katwa, where he accepted Ekadanda sannyas according to the Shankarite system. Since Kesha Bharati belonged to the Shankarite sect, he could not initiate Chaitanya Mahaprabhu into the Vaishnava sannyas order, whose members carry the Tridanda. Chandra Shekhar Acharya assisted in the routine ceremonial work of the Lord's acceptance of sannyas. By the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kirtan was performed for the entire day. And at the end of the day, the Lord shaved off his hair. On the day, he became a regular sannyasi with one rod ekadanda. On the next day, he became a regular sannyasi with one rod ekadanda. From that day on, his name was Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Before that, he was known as Nimai Pandit. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the sannyas order, traveled all over Radha Desh, the region where the Ganges river cannot be seen. Kesha Bharati accompanied him for some distance. Before that, he was known as Nimai Pandit. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the sannyas order traveled all over Radha Desh, the region where the Ganges river cannot be seen. My God, it's very intense, right? He took sannyas. It's like the heart is sinking. He left his mother, Vishnupriya, who was 16 years old. He left the entire community of devotees in Navadvip who adored him. He just left. And he was a boy, 24 years old. He was a boy. He left. It's heartbreaking. And his beautiful hair. He shaved off his beautiful hair. Sange Nityananda Chandra Shekhara Acharya Mukunda Datta Etina Kaila Sarvakarya. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted sannyas, three personalities were with him to perform all the necessary activities. They were Nityananda Prabhu, Chandra Shekhara Acharya, and Mukunda Datta. E Adi Lilara Kaila Sutra Ganana Vistara Varnila Ihadas Vrindavana. Thus I have summarized the incidents of the Adi Lila. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur has described them elaborately in his Chaitanya Bhagavat. So we can read Chaitanya Bhagavat, which is available. You can get the book. Yashodanandana Haila Sachiranandana Chaturvidha Bhakta Bhavakare Ashwadana. The same Supreme Person Godhead who appeared as the son of Mother Yashoda has now appeared as the son of Mother Sachi, relishing 4 kinds of devotional activities. So, purport. Servitude, friendship, parental affection, and conjugal love for the Supreme Person Godhead are the basis of the 4 kinds of devotional activities. In Shanta, the marginal stage of devotional service, there is no activity. But above the Shanta humor or servitude, friendship, parental affection, and conjugal love, which represent the gradual growth of devotional service to higher and higher platforms. So we could say that the devotees who don't do any service, but they accept Krishna, they chant, etc., then Shanta, right? And those who are eager, who go out of their way to do service, so they have at least touched the mood of dasya, so they want to do service. In that we can see the majority of our devotees, they're not ready to do service. But they have accepted Krishna, they're ready to chant, they're following the relative principles. So it's like marginal stage of devotional service. Swamadhurya Radha Prema Rasa Ashvadite Radha Bhavangi Kariya Che Bhalamate, to taste the mellows of Srimati Radharani's loving affairs in her relationship with Krishna, and to understand the reservoir of pleasure in Krishna, Krishna himself. Ashicita Mahaprabhu accepted the mood of Radharani. Okay, we'll stop here because now another section is starting. Yeah, and that's going to be large. Okay.
What are the 4 kinds of devotional activities that
Yes. Huge
as well?
friendship, dasya, sakhya, vatsalya, and Sakhya, right? So all of us, we are in dasya, servitude, right? So our name is Dasi, right? Everybody's name is Dasi here, right? So we are stepping into that section. Dasi, servitude. So Prabhupada is saying, but above the Shanta humor of servitude, friendship, affection, and conjugal love, which represent the gradual growth of devotional service to higher and higher platform, meaning we evolve from not ready to do it, to surrender to Krishna, we come to the first stage of surrender to Krishna, right? And then so this surrender may be like neutral. We have accepted Krishna and are the Supreme Person of Godhead, and we are not going to go here and there and worship anybody else, right? And we are fixed in our regulative principles. So in Shanta, the marginal stage of devotional service, there is no activity. There's no activity, right?
No, but he's talking about the son of Mother Sachi relishing. Mother Sachi is the son of Mother Sachi is God. So he's relishing 4 kinds. How is he relishing that?
Yeah, so that's going to be described. No?
Après, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. The same Supreme Personality of Godhead who appeared as the son of Mother Yashoda has now appeared as the son of Mother Sachi, relishing 4 kinds of devotional activities. So these 4 kinds of servitude, friendship, parental affection, and conjugal love. Then the next section is describing the conjugal love, right? Servitude, he's serving all these Brahmana rogues, right? isn't it? He's serving, right? He he gave his own self in their service. He took sannyas. Do you know what it is to be a sannyasi?
No.
Again, this God brother of mine, he described what it means to be a sannyasi. See here in India, people, they respect sannyasi. Anyway, they have also very extremely high expectation. One sannyasi say, you cannot even laugh. You cannot even sneeze. You're under camera. And now even worse, everybody's running after you with their mobile phone, right? Clicking your picture, you cannot do anything, right? Without being and goes viral, whatever you do, right? So this one devotee, this sannyasi, so he described, he preaches in Africa. So, so he said that, so it's described here how sannyasis, what do they do? So they preach home to home. So people host them. So then this wife was thinking, when will this sannyasi get out from my house? Yeah. And another house, he said that they gave him water to drink. And what was it in a bottle? And that bottle was a wine bottle. All right, it was a wine bottle.
Oh.
So they keep after they've had the wine, they keep the bottle and they say, okay, this is a water bottle, right? So it is very, very tough to be a sannyasi. And now, especially now, it's like, how many followers do you have? And then how many are following you? Right? This is how it is now. So sannyasis, I don't know how they survive all this pressure on them. It's very, very tough. So we heard that, like Mahaprabhu, he devised that if he takes sannyas, because sannyas means you have to be highly educated, right? Because sannyas mean that you are the spiritual master of all the other sections of society in the varnashram system. So he devised that method. People will offer obeisances. And some devotee, they thought that if they will study, I mean, at least in the West, they thought like that. I don't know how many people in India did it, but so they thought that if I get a PhD in philosophy, then I'll be respected. So I don't know how successful they've been, but this is what people are trying different ways and means to get the academia to surrender to you, right? Because that Brahmin community, they were supposed to be the scholars, right? So then you say, okay, if I also study very well and I get a degree in this academia world, then I'll be respected among those people. So we don't know how successful we can be. I remember my friends who became teachers of Hinduism, it was very difficult for them. They were initiated devotees when they went to study philosophy, like they were losing their Krishna consciousness. Very, very difficult. All right, we stop here because a huge section is now starting on
Next week.
Yeah, the next Madhurya Rasa. So my mood cannot change so fast to adapt to the next section. It's been very, very intense, Mahaprabhu's sannyas. I mean, I've heard it, maybe, we don't pay too much attention, but when we are reading ourselves, then we start noticing, the details of what happened. My God, it's really horrible. I feel the pain of, his family members, his community when he took sannyas. We are happy he took sannyas, right? Otherwise, we won't exist. But those who are his relatives, no, it's not at
It's a
all.
good thing. It's a good thing we don't have to take ladies, women. We don't have to take sannyas.
Anyway, we don't know. We don't know. All right, thank you very much.
Hari Bol.
कृपा सिंधु एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.
Thank you.
हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna.